when the shell's cracked open for other people that don't have the tools, it can really feel hard. And when Carrie and I had talked about doing this series, we knew the integrity of both, her and I, that we would hold people in a space that would allow them to grow without feeling like everything around them was shattered.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like our heart intention that we started to decide that we wanted to bring forward, because we know how important this healing has been for us as we've gone through our different experiences.
Yeah.
But we wanted to do it different.
When we really committed to our own spiritual journeys and evolutions, we are seekers. It's part of why we're teachers. And we would feel called towards a topic or a modality or an experience to go deep in our healing. And we would get a big yes, and we would just go. And part of that is the gift of being a seeker. And yet you're often jumping in to the deep end of the pool, like no swimmies, right? Like, oh, okay, this is what it is. And
it took time for us to rebalance, ground down, to integrate the information, to embody it, to truly embody what we had experienced or what I had experienced at different times. Like, it would sometimes unravel and unfold months afterwards, and for some people that journey will continue to be that way, but it can be, I feel like, done in a softer way where it doesn't feel so aggressive on their system.
And to an honest point, thankfully, we had a number of tools to lean into when that time came to restore, repair, reground, and having this awareness that hasn't been everybody's journey. They had not had the opportunity to have different healing or energy modalities to help support them, or maybe they didn't have a dynamic of somebody, even in our just interrelating, being able to process together or to share, or that has common language. Because once you start this healing transformational journey, you're kind of leaving the matrix, the 3D, all the programming that we came up with, all the normal, as we used to call it, realm behind, and it can create a pull at your relationships. That it could be interpersonal relationships, it could be family relationships, it could be with your work, or even to your old self. And it's a process to do so. So I think we felt really called to nurture a space that just felt really safe, really loving, and then to be able to provide support after that. They know that they have a community that is going through this journey with them. They have people that are invested in wanting to support and to celebrate or to nurture when it's a wound that they're helping to heal, or whether they're really just acknowledging a big change, right? Like, oh, this is so different. I interacted with my husband differently. I did something different at work. And to have somebody know what that really means for them, and to be witnessed. It's such a powerful, gift to be witnessed with love and without judgment and with, total honor.
And it takes a lot of courage when people start to step forward. And if it is in an environment where they haven't had tools, or they haven't had support, sometimes people will lock back down, and they may have a lot more fear to step forward. Go, when the next thing comes open.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not doing any of that again.
Exactly.
Forget that. That's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they tried that once. I tried that once.
Yeah.
Right?
That was terrible.
Yeah. So, knowing that they have the support of, like, like, you can. Let's do this. Let's move forward. Let's step forward. Let's step into that next realm of being.
Yeah. Or even that I know what that was like.
Yes.
I knew what it was like to feel so overwhelmed by something, or to have our survival programming come up and be like, not doing that again. My background by license is a chiropractor, but that's not really, the definition of my work, much like Anna is I always call her a movement specialist, but she's, trained in so many different modalities. I think we both very much honored the expansion journey we both went on, and recognized that we were moving into a different caliber and expanded work in total. And when we came together with the embodiment series, I love a good data dump. I love knowledge. I love learning. I love sharing. I love teaching. And so we knew there was a space for that as different themes had come up in our workings with clients. For me, a lot around the nervous system and a lot around the yes and no.
I mean, it's really getting them to move the energy that is maybe stuck in certain areas, prepare their body for what might be coming. So, say for instance, if we're in a heart workshop, we're going to be doing things that's going to allow the body to be ready and receptive, so
Mhm.
that whatever is going to come up, they can expand.
Yeah.
And so that's the intention behind the work and the movement, is
Mhm.
to really get their body to be okay.
Mhm.
Or if it's at a place where we know there's going to be a charge on something, calm the nervous system down. And we use
Mhm.
different breath techniques that help with that, opening up the different fascial areas, so that their body is really prepared. And that's part of the embodiment, is that whatever information is coming in, the information that allows them to start to take those steps forward, it's able to be a part of their body.
Mm.
And that is the part of what embodiment
Yeah,
is.
yeah, well said. And we don't know what we don't know. And so if you're speaking to somebody who's very early in their journey, maybe it was pain or limitation that brought them to what one of us seeking to move that, seeking to train differently, seeking to embody differently for both of us. And so it's a process of them starting to become aware of the undigested emotion in their space, or the old traumas, lineage, or their own, that have not really fully been healed. So starting to discover where these limits are, where there's something missing, where they haven't fully owned themselves or stepped into their own embodiment. And so, when she was sharing that opening up, I was seeing the picture of squeegeeing out, right? Like, it's a process between both. Everything in the universe expands and contracts. And so that coming to, okay, it's not just shoulder pain. I tend to be overly responsible for everyone in my life and take care of only them and not myself, might be that next iteration of awareness. And where are they ready to start to contract and release that habit, that obligation, that programming, so they can open to receive something new themselves, a different paradigm of relating. And so it became that dance, I think, for both of us, as we construct a workshop, between what's our intention, what are, as you know, that is the chakra levels, that is our core curriculum right now. And part of it is what are we wanting them to discover in this. And so it started in the initial scenario with percolating questions around the archetype of that level, and the energies that are related to that level, and the dynamics that are related to that level. And from that percolation, you can feel the room start to tune into, oh, where is that alive for me in my life, and how does that relate to me? And so then we bring them in and start to give them some education more about that level, whether it's anatomical or whether it's energetic. There's kind of a language of bridging both sides, and then go out and move so you can process it. I mean, we're always told, take a break when you study, right? To actually let the information be integrated. And so it's been such a fun dynamic of watching her then step in and lead the room and the energy in these bodies into something different, whether it's them moving out the triggering or the activation that came up, or whether it's them just really starting to tune into the spaces that have become available in their body that maybe wasn't before.
And giving them the permission to feel,
Mm,
what has been sometimes hidden in their system,
yeah.
that it may be the undercurrent of what has been keeping blocks in place.
Hmm.
And being able to, I can speak for myself, to in that place of, like, you know so many moments in life not having, if you want to say, permission to feel. And I feel like that is kind of a common theme for a lot of women.
Hmm.
We've been programmed to do a lot of different things in a different way, and you just move forward.
Hmm.
But what do we really feel about these things?
Hmm.
And when have an opportunity to just have time to feel into your body, you can start to uncover those things that are really running a program that doesn't need to be there.
Hmm.
And we don't need to keep that holding us back, because
Hmm.
it feels like a bag that you have to carry on your back. And
Hmm.
a lot, and then also having a safe environment that you can start to sort through those feelings,
Hmm.
and feelings are okay
Hmm.
and can be
Yeah.
expressed.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time you set the intention on your calendar for, 11 to 6 to be all about you and just about you? And to have that opportunity, I love that you brought up about feelings, because the habit is deny, dismiss, shut down, and then at some point probably explode or implode. Is, we were taught not to, feelings are weak or they're too much, or we don't have the internal structure or external structure to support it, when really they're just meant to be molecules in motion, to move up and through and to give us some guidance in where we are in our journey, what's working for us, what's not working for us. We have these habits of holding them or vomiting them on another. This really started when we had the root chakra is about our physical body. It is about our right to be here, our belongingness, our ability to have abundance or lack thereof, right? Or living in a state of threat, or living in a state of disassociation from the physical body. And when I brought a slide to Anna that really impacted me on the polyvagal theory, it was spelling out the survival programming of fight, flight, and freeze. And one of the languaging around freeze was shame. And that really struck a chord for me. And in fact, I brought into the workshop a picture of me from my first communion. It was kind of a laugh when we were talking about it. I'm like, that's where it got started. I mean, there was certainly a good amount that started there. And when we started to kind of gestate on this idea, I said, we got to do a shame workshop. Anna's like, okay, let's talk about this. So we start kind of, dancing with our ideas. And when she was floating the messaging to some of our clients, they were like, you might want to change the name. That might be a little bit much, and as seekers, we're like, oh, okay, that's probably true. Who wants to come to a workshop 11 to 6 on shame? And yet it was a big crux of part of it. And part of our questioning we started was about that, but it was reverse engineered around, when have you felt safe? What is safe to you? Do you even know what feeling safe is? This line of questioning to let them again start to tune into themselves and the feelings on these, because cells talk to cells, and these questions were meant to activate all the times they spent not feeling safe. Any of the practice of being shamed by another or shaming themselves, and how has that impacted them? They've certainly got an opportunity in the data dump to learn how it impacted their nervous system, and then go into these movement scenarios and breathwork scenarios to, okay, so empower you to move it. Squeegee out, open up.
Definitely an opportunity for people to get in touch with their intuition. It at moments allows time to just slow down and be able to feel again into themselves, and also be able to see things differently, right? And they start to understand that there's been moments in their life that their intuition was alive, but they didn't allow themselves the permission to utilize it.
Yeah. Or back to the programming of ignore that, or that's silly, or that doesn't make sense, or that's not true. The mental body often wants to step in and create order and compartmentalize and align with what our reality is, or what our indoctrination and programming has been. And so the opportunity to go in and begin to disassemble the programming that's no longer needed, no longer in alignment, or you were already graduating from, directly attunes you with your own intuition and your receiving of guidance and your connection with whatever definition of source energy you use.
I think that the releasing of some of the old programs that we run allows you to trust yourself more. And when you trust yourself more, you can tap into your own intuition that's been there very often all along, but you're like, oh, because of whatever program that made you doubt it.
And set up a new paradigm of feeling what that feels like when you did trust it, when you did listen, what was the outcome, starts this new pathway, ingraining this new pathway of that it's possible, and what the experience of the outcome is, and it can feel good. We're wired to move away from pain, but this is also about attuning to our pathways of pleasure and creating that in our lives, creating what we want in our lives,
and empowering
for sure. The itinerary for us, as I stated, we would open the workshop with, a welcome, and with kind of some of the group agreements, such as taking care of your own nervous system, knowing that this is going to be a safe space, and knowing that it's a space for things to come up in. And so that it's okay and normal that if you feel activated, or your cells start to feel a bit overwhelmed, and that when we're learning and we're growing, that often does occur, but that there's this capacity at which we're also building in these workshops of being able to work with yourself in that place. And so if you need a moment to step out, if you need a second to go take a breath, if you need to be outside, if you need the support of a facilitator, this is not only within your right, but your responsibility to do when you're coming into these spaces. We're here to support you, and you need to support yourself. So there's kind of a group container agreement that we start with, so that, you know, that's set, where the space is, where to get things, you know, how to take care of themselves in that space, and what the day is going to look like. And so when we're creating them, we kind of feel into, you know, how much data dumping am I doing? You know, because we do, after we set that container agreement, we ask that the pertinent questions for what that have we've channeled for that level. We welcome reflections and thoughts, don't require it, right? Everything is an invitation. Everything is based off of choice. So if it comes to someone to want to share what came in for them, great, because it only enriches the connection and what's coming through for the group. And that's something I've really enjoyed, is watching like the magic of what comes through the group and how they all begin to kind of cohere and create this magic space. And then from there, we do a meditation where we walk up and we just set the container for the day, for what we're calling in, and call in some activations and some healings. And from them, we go usually directly to do slides. This is where I start, you know, the education process on whatever the topic is, depending on the chakra level. And then generally we break it up with movement right away after that.
And we try to have, you know, a balance between slides where there's the learning and sitting and listening and, you know, and participation, but then also with movement or breath or, you know, some fascial work or energy work, things that allow like the kind of up and down, so that you're not like sitting in one spot for long periods of time where the body, you know, is gonna want to either stiffen up or shut down, where, you know, the information, when we present it in smaller chunks, feels like it can be received more, and then we allow then that receiving to kind of be able to percolate in the system as we put people through movement, and then bring them back when, you know, when they're able to like take another bite.
I've been told not to force feed. Because of that time of literally moving the energy and the information, they might come in with a different question or something they wanted to share just by having that opportunity. Because in all of the data dumping learning I've had, there wasn't any of that caretaking in there. You just sit and you're force fed all day long. And how much are you really retaining at that point? You know, and it can be data overload. I'm become aware of. So we've chunked up the data dump with the movement, you know, in a balanced way for whichever group we're working with and whatever level we're at, as well as with something that lands the experience of that level.
Yep.
What is the cost of living in survival programming in all different dimensions? So giving an opportunity to feel their body, as Anna had stated, and if you're consistently in that, you know, the tensions, the fatigue, the drain, the fogginess, the disconnectedness that can come from living in those states. So just having it spelled out. I mean, I talk about this stuff with my clients all the time, and I was shocked when they'd actually had the opportunity to have the day there, how much more of it landed, right? How much, because they're there to learn about this. So that agreement that they've made by signing up to have this experience, they're in a more receptive place to even have that presented to them. That's something that I noticed with some clients, at least with Root.
And I feel like each workshop that we've had has kind of a theme that is what we want to start to bring in. So there's the things that we need to let go of, but then there's those things that we want to bring in.
Yep.
And inviting them to those gifts that are at each energy level has been part of where I very often will weave it into when I'm working with some people of like, you know, you might want to think about this opportunity because this will help bring these other gifts into your life.
At the throat level is speaking your truth, but this also goes all the way down to like the sacral chakra, which was around desires and all the charge that comes up when you ask somebody about that. And when we're used to, you know, neglecting our needs or only doing for another, and you actually ask like, what do you desire? More often than not, it's, I can name that for me. I mean, when I started that work, I'm like, I don't know. And even just the energy of admitting that when you start it has its own challenge, whether you're judging yourself or shaming yourself for it or feeling silly or feeling like you're not allowed, or what happens if you do get it, who do you take from in order to have it? I mean, it starts to percolate all that up. And yet it is our birthright to have desires and to come here and to create. And we are wired for pleasure. And so why would we spend all of our time here just avoiding pain and shutting down? But that's the way we've been taught.
People are in different places,
Mm-hmm.
and we're coming together to work on certain things, but it like affects them differently, in the
Mm-hmm.
sense of like, this person might be working and they take this aspect of this, but this person may be working and they're taking this aspect of this, and so it's like it's there's something there for everyone who
Mm-hmm.
shows up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not isolated into, it has to be this way and
Mm-hmm.
it has to look like that.
Yeah.
And that's what's been beautiful, is to see how
Yeah.
it's been just coming alive in people in different ways.
Yeah.
um,
The process of self-discovery in self-development. Again, when's the last time you allotted that much time for yourself to go in and to nurture and to discover and to expand? And we name in the beginning, take what's for you and leave the rest.
yeah.
Most of the workshops we've gone to previously are to learn a modality or go have one experience. And we're bringing in a myriad of different things that we have experienced. And again, take what's for you and leave what isn't. Anchor the entire workshop really into the breathwork journey at the end. And this was something we both felt very passionate about. We both had different experiences coming to breathwork and different experiences doing breathwork, but we're very clear on how powerful it can be in both the releasing and receiving component, and how beautiful to end that day of dance between experiences, movement, learning in this private journey for themselves into their subconscious, into their higher consciousness, into any of the realms really that they're meant to go to, knowing it could be different every time they come to it.
Mm-hmm.
It can look different every time they come to it. It could be quiet. It could be, you know, calming and restful. It could be explosive and expressive. It could be, like elating.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it can be all these things.
Yeah.
And so I think we both felt really called to have it anchored. And she provides beautiful song lists, and we guide them through, you know, that last hour after they've created their nest, to really anchor this for themselves. And if they desire touch, we support them throughout the journey. If they don't desire touch, that's within their right as well. So again, stepping back into that advocacy and their yes and no, and knowing it can change, you know, making a request if they need us to come over, or asking to stop if a hand is on a leg, supporting them. And getting to have that real-time experience. We had one of the participants, I don't remember which level, who had always enjoyed the support. She goes, I want to try this time without any. And we were so proud of her. She just was like, yeah, no, like, don't touch me. And we're like, yeah, you know, when you get celebrated for your no,
Yeah.
when you get celebrated for like going against the norm, you know, well, they're trying to help me. I'm here. I signed up. I should let them. No, you know, this is your journey, your space, your time. What do you desire? And she was like, I don't want to be touched. We're like, cool. We'll just hold space for you.
And both Carrie and I have been doing so much energy work over the years that, you know, this also too gives them an opportunity, as they're in their own journey, for them to actually have an environment where the energy is being cleared, the energy is being supported, there is energy work done, whether you want to call it Reiki or hands-on or healing touch or whatever it is you want to call it, because we've been, you know, doing energy work for so long that, you know, it can be called how many different names?
Yeah.
Because we incorporate so many of the different modalities together as we're doing the work.
And I would say like energetic caretaking is really kind of a foundational piece for this. So whether Anna's doing movement and I'm in the back clearing the room, or I maybe do Palo Santo in between, like just those extra little nurturing steps. Or when I'm teaching, for Anna to be grounding the room for those that are in a space of receiving and listening and learning. I mean, it's we're on it the entire time, because we've been in spaces where that was not taken care of. When you did have somebody overtake the room, or you did have somebody kind of shut down and move out, or you weren't even quite sure what to do with the overwhelming energy. So that's something that we have remained really passionate and focused on to be attending to, other than the 30-minute lunch break we take upstairs to just recharge and see where the rest of it's going. That's where we're at the whole time, from start to finish.
Yes. So the following day, very often an integration package has been offered, so that if somebody, say for instance, has had things come up in their system and they really don't feel quite stable or centered, they have an opportunity to go through different modalities that will help ground them or move that energy so that they feel more back into their body. And because each level brings up different things for different people,
Yeah.
it has been very helpful for people to be able to have this opportunity for them to take more time for themselves
Mm-hmm.
and really have some nurturing, so
Mm-hmm.
that they can feel like this information can be more integrated into their system. And then also, if they have anything that comes up that they need to discuss, during those moments, that they have somebody that can, if you want to say, reflect something back to them, be
Mm-hmm.
supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And Carrie and I often will do, for the first beginning chakras, a Zoom call where it is a healing call, and people can discuss some of the things that came up for them, so that they can feel like, yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, and just that opportunity to check in, right? So that's why we place them with the lower chakras, especially as they begin this journey, and those lower chakras have more density to them. That we had another safe space, another energetically densely loving space where they could check in the next day of, this was last night, this is what came up for me after, what was your guys, and be witnessed in that, and be offered reflections on what we see, what we've experienced. A collaboration of sorts, and to continue that effort to be held. And the wellness packages she's offered are beautiful. Like, everybody that has participated in those, I think, was like, why didn't I do this sooner? And another opportunity to say yes to themselves. Like, I'm worthy and deserving of getting more support and care. Like, I still am confused on how we got so indoctrinated with, you have to wait till crisis, till it's, to everything's so miserable to go get support. Why?
Yeah.
Why? We said we bring experiences in, and as we said, we're both seekers. So anything that was a yes to us, we went and tried and did. And so we would pepper in these little different parts of an opportunity, such as color, right? Color work is something that we brought in through all of the workshop levels. And for those of you who aren't familiar with color therapy, it's a deeply powerful form of healing. And so a lot of these things, these individuals may not have had an opportunity to even come across previously. What's color? What's that about? So not only are they getting some of the language and the data, but they're getting the experience of using the glasses kit, or the last one we used, the light box. So they're getting exposure to modalities, even in the wellness package, between the sauna and the foot bath and the brain tap and the lymph work, that they may not have gone and sought out on their own, is being brought to them. I mean, one of our participants even said that, knowing that we both have gone far and wide to train this. She was like, I'm so grateful that you're bringing this knowledge back to us, that we have this opportunity to go to Downers Grove and say yes to a day experience, and have all of these things introduced to us that we would have had to pay and search and go and travel and experience in this kind of checkered way. And it's being brought together as this amalgam or mosaic of work that's impacted us, that we still use, that we use in our own healing, that we use to regulate our nervous system, and has been and developed our own energetic practices to gift as an experience to them, and to find your way. What is your system? What is your care package for yourself? What is your self-nurturing? How do you take care of your energetic body, your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body? And if you don't know yet, great, come discover a way that is accessible to you. So making it accessible, making healing accessible, their self-discovery, and then the knowingness that transformation is what we're made for. And that's not just it's possible, we're made for it. Just do it. Why
Just
not?
do
You're
it.
worth it.
You're
Just
gonna
do
just
it. Once you say yes to yourself and to the universe, that you open the door to magic. I mean, we can't control all of what life comes to us, but we can do the inside out job that we came here to do, and be open to receiving that magic. It's not an indulgence to tune in, and it doesn't take crisis, that it can be many moments throughout your day. You don't have to be on a mountaintop, doing meditation for 50 years to earn your spiritual path anymore. This is a day-to-day interaction with yourself, with universe, with your higher self, and with what you're choosing to move towards, that you continually do. And this is an avenue of which to begin that, to continue that, to evolve that at whatever stage and age you are. This was like 3 years of therapy done in like the lower three or four chakras. She was like, it was like getting all my therapy done.
Yeah.
We read one this morning about another participant saying, how she felt, which is why I use that language, so much more connected to herself and so much more comfortable in her own skin. and that she had released so many of the things that had been like traveling with her and was opening up to more parts of herself. I mean, their shares have been really, really, really beautiful and touching.
One of my clients had said that her therapist had told her that she just worked through what would have taken her 2 years to get through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty impressive. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that like she was courageous to show up
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to do it.
I think there's another one that I our initial invitation were to clients we had already had in our own practices. So some of the people I was bringing in hadn't met Anna, and some of the people that she was bringing in hadn't met me. But not only were they courageous to say yes, but they trusted us. And so it was such a beautiful gift to then have this exchange of, well, this is why she's this person to me, and so forth. And for them to then trust both of us as these co-facilitators. And this individual I'm speaking to is, I think she was probably pretty resistant, and maybe a little confused as to why she had said yes, other than, well, I trust Anna. Um, but each one she kept coming back for and kept coming back for, and starting to experience some huge changes in her life, changed her career. She was having different, relating dynamics with her family, with her husband. She really centered into then this being a process, a transformational process to change her life. And I believe even on the last one, she was like, I have total strangers coming up to me now saying, your energy feels so good. You just feel so, and this has never happened to me. She's like, I mean, ever. That has not happened. She was like, they're just total strangers. You just seem so peaceful. She's like, oh, okay.